Andy, we definitely gonna have to do better, and we have to do better.
And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What,
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 11. This is episode 15, I believe. 15. This was, I'm definitely going to say, a filler. And it literally wasn't interesting. I literally watched this episode and I was just waiting for it to end, that's bad. That's bad. And we're at the midway point. We watched the whole trailer, the extended trailer last week of what's coming up, and it's like all this drama, and then boom, you leave us with this. It was like eating an old cold egg sandwich with cold hard cheese, honey. I was like, I can't wait for this to be over. And I was like, and I haven't felt like that in a long time, where I'm actually watching the episode and waiting on it to be done. Anyway, let's go on and go through it. Dennis and Porsha, first thing. They actually are talking and they make the decision that he's going to leave his apartment and they're going to move into her house. Duh. You haven't even had the house long enough to even want to sell it to think you're going to get anything back. So, duh. Anyway, but I mean, people don't always make the best decisions, but that was smart. So, just made sense to me anyway. Didn't even require a scene. Moving on. Kandi and Todd. They go down. You see that the second old lady gang is almost done. Looks real good. And she tells you basically her burlesque show is sold out. And that's when we found out that literally, I said, Kandi, that's when you know you a bad bitch. When she said, oh yeah, ever since I released the commercial, it's been so bad bitch. When you put the commercial up, shortly thereafter it's sold out, bad bitch. I ain't mad with you. I ain't mad with you. That's all right. That is all right. I like that. She's still struggling. She talked a little bit, but she's still struggling with the whole situation with the embryos and how to do it. And I think her real issue, and she came out later, her real issue had to do with really having somebody else carry her baby. And I said, I thought of that, but I just didn't say anything. And I had thought, like, how would I actually feel about this I have issues with a third party in anything that I'm doing. It's just, I guess that's the control freak part of me. That third party thing just makes me nervous. I mean, that's in anything. That's even like when I'm doing something that's dear to me. Like when I'm doing something creatively, like handing off sewing to someone else, it's an issue. It's an issue. I mean, and truly, if you're going to be in business, I'm going to have to work through those issues, but it definitely is. So, and that's just that, just a creative process. Something as deep as literally carrying my baby, I would probably drive myself absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So I definitely know where she's coming from. Todd has started talking. I remember he was talking all crazy. And that was my other worry. It was like, girl, told someone, can I touch her belly? This, that, the other. He's about spending time with the woman and getting to know the woman and all that. I was like, girl, you got to watch to make sure that she don't end up with your goddamn husband, is what I was thinking to myself too. But Todd now is in this weird space of like, I don't really want to know her. I really don't want to deal with all of that at all. I really would rather just the babies show up and then we just have the babies and that just be it. I can understand that too. But that's not real life. That's not real life, Todd. You know what I mean? That you just gonna be that hand. You know, you really are taking on the male role and throwing everything off on Kandi. So I hope that if they decide to go with a surrogate, he doesn't actually go and push that little male narrative and just be all hands up. Because that's not fair. That's not fair to your wife at all, buddy, that you get to sit and just lay back and wait for babies to come and that Kandi has to carry that whole third party burden that I'm talking about all by herself. Well, how's that fair? That's not fair. It doesn't make sense. So I hope she don't let that go down. And I'm sure she won't. I'm sure she won't let that go down. I know I wouldn't. I'd be child wrap him across his knuckles, honey. Anyway, moving on. Nene and Greg. We see them actually headed down for Greg to have this surgery to actually get rid of his colostomy bag and all of that. And she is really like going on with him and kind of dealing with him and telling him about her lack of happiness. And I'm like, bad timing. Like, I don't want to hear how unhappy you are while I'm on my way to go to surgery. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on with Nene, but she is about to drive me nuts. Absolutely nuts. She is getting to a point, and I don't know if it's just all of what we're seeing, just what we're seeing, but she just seems to be more of a damn issue than a help. Like, you're building unneeded stress to this man. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little too hard on her. Y'all let me know in the comments. But I just can't imagine how it's good timing for you to tell your husband about how unhappy you are with this whole situation and him having cancer and her taking care of him and all of this while he's on the way to have yet another surgery. Just can't see how that timing is just good. I can't see it. I just can't see that extra added stress is what you need right before you go under the knife. I don't see it. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Moving on, because she can tick me off. Moving on. Eva and her old man. We see them dealing with the kids, and it was just a cute enough thing. Cute, nothing really. They were having a meeting with their DJ for their wedding, going over the music. And then Marley, we saw Marley and the baby. Both kids were so cute. And we got to see Marley, and they were teaching, Eva was teaching Marley how to take pictures with her cell phone. I was like, well, that's cute enough. But, again, that's not really what we tuned in for, but it's cute enough. Cute enough. Moving on. Shamari and Ronnie and Porsha and Dennis go on a double date. No biggie. Boring as hell. They go to like a go-kart thing, and the girls don't go-kart. They play a little pool. Nothing really going on. And Dennis tells Ronnie that he's planning to propose to Porsha on that Friday coming. Also, Lauren knew about the proposal coming up, and Porsha didn't. So I said, okay, so here's what we were doing. I was trying to figure out what is the point of this. There's got to be a point to this actual episode. There's got to be something that the episode wraps around. It's her engagement. I said, okay, cool. And I've grown very tired of the conversation of when y'all gonna get engaged. I don't know, girl. He talk about it all the time. I don't know. She just seems so desperate, and it bothers me. She's not even one of my favorite folk, but it bothers me to see her so desperate for something, and I'm like, girl, watch what you ask for now. Anyway, then there was a little, that Ronnie and Shamari. I don't know what's worse with them. This or her sitting on camera digging boogers out of his nose. The two of them, sometimes I just want to line them up and just smack the shit out of the two of them. Like, what is the deal? Really? Digging boogers? Nasty. Just nasty. Nasty and unnecessary. Moving on. Kandi and Todd meet up with Dr. Jackie, and they actually get to meet the surrogate. Very, very attractive woman. Very pretty woman. And I'm just kind of looking at her and I'm like, wow, you're different. You know, she's really, I'm looking at her and I'm just like, you're different. I don't know. I understood her point of how she, why she chooses to do surrogacy and that, but just really knowing that you could actually carry a baby and then just drop it off and never see the baby, never have any attachment after you, that's different. Like, that's different. That's like a whole skill set all in its own that I don't want. I don't want that. Just seemed to me like it would just leave a hole in my soul. You know what I mean? I don't know. But again, I guess I'm not supposed to understand it because it ain't my issue. But I just was looking at her like, beautiful woman, beautiful chocolate girl. I was like, yeah, okay. And she's talking about, because she already had done it once. You can't think of no other way to make no money, girl. It just threw me. I don't know. That's different. That's different. Yeah, that's different. Even with like with my kids, their mother could always come and see them. Their mother could always come and see them. You really can't go and see. You just drop this baby and then that's just it. Because I always would question the kids' mother, like, girl, how could you? You know what I mean? And I've tried not to stay too far in judgment, but like literally, girl just had babies and just walk on off. But I mean, and we're talking in the literal sense of just have a baby and just roll. And just don't think no more about it no more. How is that even possible? I don't know. Strange. Very strange. Very strange. And then I'm looking at her and I was laughing and I was like, Kandi, girl, maybe it is better to let Todd be hands off, honey, because she's fine. That bitch is fine. And then, we got to watch you too, because you ain't so cool either. Y'all need to be watching each other. Because girl was fine. She really was. I was like, these little, that little couple, honey. Anyway, let me quit. I'm being shady. Moving on. Kandi did get a little emotional and different things like that. And that was the funny part. Kandi got all emotional, and the girl was just looking at her. But you gonna give me this money or what? Right. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Then we go over to back to Nene's. It's Nene and Cynthia and Marlo sitting there. And, of course, Nene was raking my nerves. Because, again, every scene with Nene is her and how unhappy she is taking care of Greg. So tired of hearing it. Like, I'm getting so tired of it. And then Cynthia was in her confessional. I said, oh, how's this going to play out during the reunion? She's in her confessional, and Cynthia basically was saying that she don't think that Nene is being as supportive as she actually could be. And it's the truth. But we all know how Nene handles the truth. Because it's the truth that hurts. Moving on. We go over to Eva's house, and we actually see Eva and Shanita. Shanita is a bridesmaid. And she just happens to be a stylist as well, but she's not Porsha, Lord. She's not Eva's stylist, but she is a bridesmaid for the wedding. And Eva had a whole breakdown, like a whole breakdown. She's changing dresses. She has 2 wedding dresses and also a reception dress. Okay, so I guess one that she's actually going to take pictures in, one that she's actually going to get married in, and then one, her actual reception dress. So I guess 9 times out of 10, she'll go down the aisle in one, and then she'll change that dress, take her pictures, and then come into her reception in that dress, and then shortly after, she'll leave for a little bit. Because she'll do all of the receiving and all of that. Then she'll leave for a little bit when they start to serve the people, and then she'll come back in her reception dress, and then she'll that's be a dress where she'll be able to kind of move around the party and stuff. But then I'm looking, and the dresses that came, there was like 3 of them that came. She had called all around. Shanita had did this. Because the actual reception dress that she was getting didn't, it fell through. The actual fabric wasn't available anymore. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, wondering how long is Eva going to be able to hold it together? Because I know I'd have probably been a mess at that point. But it didn't take long. She's sitting on the floor where she's going through these boxes with these dresses. And I'm looking at these dresses. I'm like, these are all actual third literal wedding gowns. Like, there's no need to even change. I mean, if you're going to be uncomfortable. See, I was always thinking that the reception dress would be like more like a gown, like just like a regular evening gown. But no, these were all full on poofy. I'm like, that ain't comfortable, child. I was like, you doing the most. And then you fussing about being over budget. Shit like that. Don't nobody need no 3 wedding gowns. Like you being all extravagant. And I guess this is going to lead up to these financial conversations we're going to have later, because you start to look kind of crazy to me. But okay, whatever. But none of those dresses worked out. She was unhappy. Shanita told her, listen, I'm going to step up as a bridesmaid, and you tell me what you have going on. Throw some things off on me. I'm going to help you. I was like, well, that was nice. That was nice. Shanita actually did handle the situation. I think that's supposed to actually be, isn't the matron? Wouldn't it be the matron of honor or the maid of honor that would actually be doing what Shanita is doing? That would actually be that close, that would actually take on some of that stuff. But whatever, I guess it just really depends on the friendships. But Shanita was really being there for her, and I was like, that was sweet. She seemed sweet enough, and she was really a calm, she definitely seemed like a very good friend. She was very calm and very, she wasn't getting frustrated with Eva or anything like that. I was like, yeah, you need to keep her definitely in your bag. She definitely better than hanging around with some of these girls. You definitely want to keep that type of girl close, So that was cool. Cool enough. Again, see, all of this stuff was just kind of whatever. It's like, all right, cool. Then we see Porsha and Dennis, and they go on a helicopter ride, drops them off on the roof. They're coming down the steps, and we hear, now that love's taking over. I'm like, okay. And she's like, that's my song. I was like, that's the first time we actually agreed on something, Miss Porsha, because that's my song too. That is my favorite song that Little Mo has ever put out, is Forever. My favorite. To heaven. My favorite Lil Mo song. Fell in love with Lil Mo. All about that right there. Right there. Fell out of love with her over R&B divas. But anyway, again, that's a whole nother situation. I just think that Lil Mo should have never did reality TV, because I'm telling you, I was a Little Mo fiend. Can I tell you how I was waiting and holding for her album to actually be released after the single I was Little Mo down. Now that I know too much about Little Mo, I just be looking at her like, girl. But all right, girl. Anyway, I digress. But I'm back. Okay, so when they get down the steps, Lil Mo's actually there with her whole little blue hair, and she's singing the song. She looked cute enough, I guess. Not really. I mean, she had cute shoes, and the hair was bothering me. I'm sorry, Mo, but the hair was bothering me. All this was the number 2, and the ponytail and the shag was blue. Why did you not do the blue on the bottom, or just do you a whole lace front? That threw me off. But anyway, cute enough. She was actually singing the song, and he actually proposed, gave her ring. And let me tell you, all in all, for as grand as Miss Porsha is, your whole thing with your proposal, it looks very staged. It was very empty. And altogether, it was very boring. Very boring. Besides them actually playing my jam in the back, it was actually a so what moment, honey. And that's what I felt about this whole episode. I was like, this is sad. This is actually her. We did all of this for a whole half a season to lead up to you actually having a proposal, and the shit was boring. Even Porsha didn't deserve that. Boring. This is the one episode that I think people will definitely forget. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Later.